Hello everyone, welcome you all. Let's start our discussion and solve question paper of CUCT 2021. In the previous video, we have solved up to question number 15. So in this video, we will start from question number 16. Question number 16. 10 milligrams of a radioactive substance of life period 2 years is kept for 4 years. How much of the substance remain unchanged? Half-life of this substance is 2 years and that is kept for a total time period of 4 years. So the amount of substance remained will be given by n equals to n naught half to the power n, and that is equals to n naught half t by t half. N naught is the initial amount. So initial amount is given 10 milligram, so half to the power 4 by 2. Now this is equals to 10 milligram equals to 1 by 4. So this is equals to 2.5 milligram. So your correct option is option 3. Question number 17. The ratio of intensities of the two waves that produce interference pattern is 16:1. The ratio of maximum to minimum intensities in fringes system will be. The ratio of intensities is given and we have to find the ratio of maximum intensity to minimum intensity. So from here we can find a1 square by a2 square equal to 16 by 1, which is equals to a1 by a2 equals to 4 by 1. And we know maximum intensity and minimum intensity is given by a1 plus a2 whole square, a1 minus a2 whole square. So by taking a2 common, we can write a1 by a2 plus 1 whole square by a1 by a2 minus 1 whole square. So this is equals to 4 plus 1 whole square by 4 minus 1 whole square. So it is 25 by 9. So your correct option is option 4. Question number 18. In Newton rings arrangement, bright and dark rings are obtained using sodium yellow light. What happens if the top surface of the glass plate on which the lens is kept is highly silvered? We know Newton rings are formed due to interference between the light rays reflected from the curved surface of the lens and the surface of the glass plate. Now, if the top surface of the glass plate is highly silvered, then the fringes will disappear and we will get uniform illumination. This is because the intensity of light reflected from the surface of the glass plate will be very large as compared to the intensity of the light reflected from the curved surface of air film. Okay, so the fringes will disappear. So your correct option is option 3. Question number 19. The ratio of two specific heats of a diatomic gas is. We have to find the ratio of specific heats for a diatomic gas. We know Cp by Cv is given by 1 plus 2 by F, where F is degree of freedom of the gas, and we know F equals to 3n minus C. N is the number of atom. Here for diatomic gas, number of atom is 2, so it is 3 times 2 minus 1, so it is 5. So degree of freedom for this diatomic gas is 5. Now 1 plus 2 by 5 equals to 7 by 5 equals to 1.4. So your correct option is option 3. Question number 20. A ball is tied to a cord and set in rotation in a vertical circle. The tension in the cord at the lowest point exceeds that at the highest point by. Here we have to find the difference in the tension at the lowest point and at the highest point. See, this is a class 11 to n concept, so you can solve it by yourselves. Here I am solving it in one way, but you can solve it by any different way. Okay, so let us consider this point to be A, this point to be B, and this point to be C. Let the ball starts moving from here with velocity VA and after some time let the ball be here, and it is a speed here, it is v. So let this makes an angle theta, and here this will be mg, and let us consider the centrifugal force to be mv square by r, and this will be the angle theta, and the component of mg in this direction will be mg cos theta. So and tension will be in this direction. So here at this point we can write the equation T equals to mv square by r plus mg cos theta. Now you can also express this speed v in the terms of va by using energy conservation, because here no frictional force. So let this to be r, and this will be r cos theta, sorry, and this height will be r minus r cos theta. So using the energy conservation between this point A and this point, you can calculate speed v in terms of VA, that is initial potential energy plus initial kinetic energy equals to final potential energy plus final kinetic energy. That is initial potential energy, let here to be 0, then initial kinetic energy half m VA square equals to mg height r minus r cos theta plus half m v square. So here v square equals to va square minus 2g r minus r cos theta. Now here you can write tension T equals to m, okay, radius let use it to be capital R, so m by r v square, that is va square minus 2g r minus r cos theta plus mg cos theta. So this can be written as m v square by r minus 2 mg 1 minus cos theta plus mg cos theta. This is equals to m v square by r minus plus, it will be plus 3 mg cos theta minus 2 mg. So this is the expression for tension. Now you can see this angle theta for point A will be 0. So at point A theta will be 0. So tension at point A will be m va square by r cos 0 1, so 3 mg minus 2 mg, so it will be plus mg. Now at point B theta will be 90 degree, so cos 90 0, so it will tension at point B will be m va square by r minus 2 mg. So you can see here going upward the tension is decreasing. Now at point C theta equal will be 180 degree, so tension at point C will be cos 180 minus 1, so minus 3 mg minus 2 mg, that will be minus 5 mg. So m va square by r minus 5 mg. Now we can see at the highest point the tension is the lowest, and at the lowest point tension is highest. So you can find the difference, that is Ta minus Tc will be 6 mg. So the tension at the lowest point exceeds the tension at the highest point by 6 times the weight of the ball. So your correct option is option 4. Question number 21. The function f of x be a periodic function of period 2 pi. The coefficient of sin 5x in the Fourier series expansion of f of x in the interval minus pi to pi is. So function f of x is given in the interval from minus pi to pi, and we have to find the coefficient of sin 5x. And we know for any function f of x defined in the interval from minus L to L, the Fourier series expansion for f of x is given by this. and here a naught equals to 1 by L minus L to L f of x dx, an equals to 1 by L minus L to L f of x cos n pi x by L dx, and bn equals to 1 by L minus L to L f of x sin n pi x by L dx. So for the given function f of x in the interval from minus pi to pi, the Fourier series expansion f of x will be a naught by 2 summation from n equals to 1 to infinity an cos nx plus summation n equals to infinity bn sin nx, or this can be written as like a naught by 2 a1 cos x plus a2 cos 2x other term plus b1 sin x plus b2 sin 2x and other term, and here we can see that the coefficient of sin 5x is b5, so we have to calculate b5. So using this general formula for bn we can calculate b5. So using this b5 is 1 by pi integral from minus pi to pi f of x sin 5x dx. So 1 by pi integral using f of x value minus pi to 0, f of x from minus pi to 0 is minus pi sin 5x dx plus 0 to pi, value of f of x is pi sin 5x dx. Now pi can be taken outside, so pi will cancel out, so here it will be minus sin minus pi to 0 sin 5x dx plus 0 to pi sin 5x dx. Now you can calculate the integration of sin 5x, and we know integration of sin give us a minus sin with cos function, so sin integration of sin 5x will be minus cos 5x by 5, so minus minus will be plus, so it will be 1 by 5 cos 5x from minus pi to 0 plus cos 5x from pi to 0 into 1 by 5. Now 1 by 5 cos 0 1 minus cos 5 pi, so it will be minus 1 plus 1 by 5 cos 0 1 minus cos 5 pi, that will be minus 1, so it will be 2 2, so 2 by 5 2 by 5, that will be 4 by 5. So your correct option is option 1. Question number 22. The plane electromagnetic wave has the magnetic field this, where k is wave number, I cap, j cap and k cap are the unit vectors along x, y and z direction respectively. The average pointing vector is. Magnetic field of the electromagnetic wave is given. We have to find the average of this pointing vector. We know pointing vector is given by S equals to E cross B by mu naught. Here magnetic field is given, so we have to calculate the electric field of this electromagnetic wave, and we know the relation between electric field and magnetic field of a electromagnetic wave is given by electric field equals to B vector cross k cap into C. Similarly, you should remember for magnetic field B equals to k cap cross E vector divided by C. So here we will use this first relation to calculate the expression of electric field, and you should remember that here this k cap is not z direction, it is unit vector of propagation vector for the electromagnetic wave. So here, from here we will calculate the propagation vector, and this kf represents the unit vector for that propagation vector. We know in a general wave equation, the general form is sin k dot r plus minus omega t. So if we compare here this expression can be written as k by root 2 I cap plus k by root 2 j cap dot x I cap plus y j cap. Okay, so from here we can write that the propagation vector of this electromagnetic wave will be k by root 2 I cap plus k by root 2 j cap. Here this k cap is the z cap direction. Okay, so for problem solving we will use z cap, so there will be no confusion between this k cap and this k cap. Okay, so here we have the propagation vector for electromagnetic wave. So from this vector we can calculate its magnitude, so that will be k, and its unit vector will be 1 by root 2 I cap plus j cap. Okay, so now for calculation we need magnetic field vector b and k cap. So we have b vector and this unit vector of propagation vector. So now we can calculate electric field for this electromagnetic wave. So E equals to b vector cross k cap into c. So electric field vector equals to b vector, so b naught c sin x plus y k by root 2 plus omega t. This here I am using z cap. Okay, cross unit vector of propagation vector, that is 1 by root 2 I cap plus j cap. Okay, so it is b naught c by root 2 sin x plus y k by root 2 plus omega t, k cross I will give us j cap. So j cap plus k cross j, j cross k is I, so k cross j will be minus I cap. So this is the electric field vector for the given electromagnetic wave. Now pointing vector S equals to E cross B vector by mu naught. So we have to find E cross B. Now electric field vector cross magnetic field vector. So E cross B equals to B naught square C by root 2 sin square j cap minus I cap cross k cap. Again b naught square c by root 2 sin square x plus y k by root 2 plus omega t, j cross k cap will be I cap. So it is I cap minus I cross k cap, I cross k cap, k cap cross I cap is j cap, so I cap cross k cap will be minus j cap. So minus here another minus, so it will be plus j cap. Okay, so E cross B is C b naught square sin square x plus y k by root 2 plus omega t I cap plus j cap by root 2. So pointing vector S equals to b naught square c by mu naught sin square I cap plus j cap by root 2. So average value of pointing vector will be equals to, this will be remain same, b naught square c by mu naught, and we know average of sin square value is half, so it will be 2 mu naught I cap plus j cap by root 2. Velocity is given by omega by k, and as the speed of electromagnetic wave in free space is c, so c is omega by k. So this expression can be written as b naught square c square by 2 mu naught. I am multiplying and divide c in numerator and denominator. Okay, so it will be omega k I kf plus j kf by root 2. Okay, so now check options. Your correct option will be option 2. Question number 23. Einstein's formula for heat capacity. Einstein formula for specific heat is Cv equals to 3r theta E by T whole square exponential theta E by T divided by exponential theta E by T minus 1 whole square, and theta E is equals to h cot omega by kb. So at high temperature, when theta E is very much small than T, Cv equals to 3r, and at low temperature, when theta E is very much greater than T, Cv equals to 3r theta E by T square. We know when for exponential x, when x is very large, x is large, exponential x will be very large, x taken as positive. Okay, so one can be neglected in comparison to this exponential theta E by T. So now it will be exponential minus theta E by T. Okay, so according to Einstein's formula, this is the variation of specific heat at high temperature and low temperature. Okay, but from experimental result we know that specific heat at low temperature varies as T to the power cube at low temperature. This is the experimental result. Okay, so we can say the Einstein formula fails at low temperature because it decreases exponentially instead of T cube. Okay, so your correct option is option 3. Similarly, you should remember the specific heat expression for Dulong-Petit's law. This is the classical theory, and for Debye theory. Okay, so according to Dulong-Petit's law, specific heat is 3r at all temperature, but experimental result shows that specific heat varies as T cube at low temperature. So you can say Dulong-Petit's law fails at low temperature. Similarly, for Debye's theory, at high temperature it is Cv equals to 3r, and at low temperature Cv is given by this expression. Question number 24. A single slit is illuminated by a light composed of two wavelengths, lambda 1 and lambda 2. Due to Fraunhofer diffraction, one observes that the first minima obtained for wavelength lambda 1 coincides with the second minima of lambda 2. The relationship between lambda 1 and lambda 2 is minimum condition for single slit diffraction is A sin theta equals to n lambda. Now, according to question, first minima of lambda 1 coincides with the second minima of lambda 2. So we can write the minima condition for lambda 1 as A sin theta equals to lambda 1, n equals to 1 here, and for lambda 2 A sin theta equals to 2 lambda 2. So as these two minima coincides, so lambda 1 will be 2 lambda 2. So this is the relation between lambda 1 and lambda 2. So your correct option is option 2. Question number 25. Which of the following functions can be used as an integrating factor to turn the following non-exact equation into an exact equation? We are given with a non-exact differential equation. We have to find the integrating factor that will make this differential equation an exact differential equation. And we know a differential equation given in this form will be exact differential equation if it satisfies the condition that is del m by del y equals to del n by del x. Now you can check here, this differential equation will not satisfy this condition. You can see here, this given differential equation is not satisfying the condition, so it is a non-exact differential equation. So to make it exact, we have to find a integrating factor that will make it exact. Now if you check the option, you will find that the integrating factor will be of the form of x to the power n y to the power m. So if we multiply this integrating factor with this differential equation, that will make it a exact differential equation, and then the modified equation will satisfy this condition. So we can write del y 3y cos x minus xy sin x x to the power n y to the power m equals to del y del x of 2x cos x x to the power n y to the power m. Now del y 3 cos x minus x sin x x to the power n y to the power m plus 1 equals to del y del x of 2 y to the power m cos x x to the power n plus 1. Now you can calculate the differentiation. So now we can take common x to the power n from here. So it is equals to 3 cos x minus x sin x x to the power n y to the power m plus 1 equals to 2 y to the power m x to the power n plus 1 cos x minus x sin x. Now this can be cancelled out. Now comparing both the sides, you can find that is n plus 1 equals to 3 and m plus 1 equals to 2. So from here n equals to 2 and m equals to 1. So here this integrating factor will be x square y. Okay, so your correct option is option 2. Question number 26. The solution of del u by del t equal to for del u by del x is, we can see u is a function of both t and x. So to find the value of u, we can assume u to be equals to capital X times capital T. Capital X is function of small x and capital T is function of small t. So we can when we use this expression in this given equation, it will give us capital X del t by del t equals to 4 times t del x by del x. Okay, so this can be written as 1 by t of t del t by t equals to 4 x of x del x del x. So we can let this is equals to some constant k. Okay, so now from here we can write 1 by t del t by del t equals to k, or from here we can write del t by t equals to k del t. Taking integration both side, ln t equals to k small t plus ln c1, or capital T equals to c1 times exponential kt. Okay, now we have the expression for t is this. Now we have to find the expression for capital X. Okay, so there is a correction. It will be for 1 by capital X d capital X by small d x. Now taking this second part, 4 into 1 by capital X d capital X x equals to k. Okay, so from here we can write 4 dx by x equals to k dx, or you can take 4 to be into the right hand side. So dx by x equals to k by 4 dx. Again taking integration, ln x equals to k by 4x plus ln c2. Now capital X equals to c2 times exponential k by 4 x. So U will be x times t. So it will be C1 times C2 exponential k can be taken common t plus x by 4, or this can be written as a single constant. Let this to be a exponential k t plus x by 4. So your correct option is option 4. Question number 27. If the binding energy per nucleon in lithium and helium nuclei are 5.6 megaelectron volt and 7.06 megaelectron volt respectively, then in the reaction energy of proton must be. Binding energy per nucleon in lithium and helium nuclei are given, so we can calculate binding energy. So binding energy in lithium equals to 5.60 into 7, that is equals to 39.2 mega electron volt. Similarly, binding energy in helium nucleus equals to 7.06 into 4, that is equals to 28.24 mega electron volt. Now to find the energy of proton, we can calculate it by finding the Q value energy of the given reaction, and we know Q value energy of a nuclear reaction using binding energy can be defined as binding energy of products minus binding energy of reactants. So binding energy of products, that equals to 2 times 28.24 mega electron volt minus binding energy of reactants, that is 39.2 mega electron volt. So it is equals to 17.28 mega electron volt. So in this reaction the energy of proton must be this 17.28 mega electron volt. So your correct option is option 2. Question number 28. In a simple cubic lattice, the interplanar spacing for plane 100, 110 and 111 is. For cubic lattice, we know the interplanar spacing is given by A by square root under h square plus k square plus l square. H, k, l are Miller indices of a plane. So now for D100, it will be A. D110, it will be A by root 2, and for D111, A by root 3. So D100, D110, D11 will be A by root 2, A by root 3. So it will be equal to root 6, root 3 is to root 2. So your correct option is option 3. Number 29. The decimal equivalent of hexadecimal E5 is. We know in hexadecimal number system E represents 14. So for decimal equivalent of this hexadecimal number E5 will be 14 into 16 to the power 1 plus 5 into 16 to the power 0. So it will be 14 into 16, which is equals to 229. So your correct option is option 2. Question number 30. Which of the following disintegration series of heavy elements will give bismuth as stable nucleus? There are total of 4 radioactive series, and this thorium series, uranium and actinium series give lead as stable nucleus, and this neptunium series gives bismuth as stable nucleus. So your correct option is option 2. So in this video we have completed 15 questions. We will continue in the next video. Thanks for watching and all the best for your exam.